Meet The Lot, native token of Lukki Exchange and the most potential tool for investing this year. Trade now on P2B, B2B and Lukki.io.
So what do you think about Monero? I mean, I've heard you, I've been following you for quite some time. I know you're obviously a big advocate of Bitcoin. I've heard you talk about Monero a little bit, but can you give us your quick kind of like synopsis of where you see Monero in the crypto space?
All right, well, as I've been saying, as Bitcoin gets to its price objective that I laid out in 2011 of 100,000, all altcoins will be subsumed by Bitcoin. There's nothing Bitcoin can't do. Everything that all these altcoins can do, Bitcoin will eventually either does now or will do. Now, between here, 7,000 and 100,000 is a big move. It's a lot of price action to come. And within that, you're going to see a lot of jockeying for position. And you're going to see a lot of coins, not a lot of coins, but a few coins are going to exert a lot of influence. Monero being one of those coins. Because the team behind Monero is excellent. Fluffy Pony is great. And they're involved in a number of different projects. The underlying idea of Monero adding a privacy layer, et cetera, is great. But again, you know, as we get to 100,000, you're going to see pretty much everything get gobbled up by Bitcoin.
So you said Monero adding a privacy layer, but Monero is private by default at the protocol level. Do you think you don't think that's something that's necessary for the crypto to win for digital cash? You don't think digital cash needs to be fungible at the protocol level?
I think so. And Monero is there. You know, I like Monero. I think that it is one of the top 3 or 4 coins that I would put as heading into the $100,000 for Bitcoin scenario. You know, if you have like 2,500 coins out there, clearly 2,300, 2,400 of them are not going to make it. A few of them will. Monero definitely is one of the strongest coins out there. That's why I'm at this conference, because the guys behind it, like Monero, you know, Fluffy Pony, Satoshi Litecoin, Whale Panda, and Samson Mao, you know, these are the 4 of the very strongest guys we have in this space. This is a fantastic event. It's a great counter event to Consensus, which has become a little bit too corporate, a little bit too Wall Street friendly, but there's a place for that too. Obviously, they're attracting huge numbers, and this bull market's really getting started again. It's going to be a huge leap now. So I don't, you know, don't get me wrong. I don't think Monero sucks. I think it's great. I think that, you know, it'll be one of the primary coins going forward. And so, you know, I give it, but I believe that ultimately Bitcoin at 100,000 wins out.
But how does Bitcoin overcome the fact that it doesn't have fungibility at the protocol level? Is that necessary, or do you think it could be done on other levels like Lightning Network? Do you think at the end of the day these things need to be private and fungible at their core level?
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to this comparison to gold for a second. You know, and Aristotle laid out why gold is good money. He said it was divisible, it was scarce, it was desirable, and it was fungible. Clearly, gold is fungible. I can melt down a gold vase and I can create gold coins, and it's 100% the same. It's fungible in that way. Bitcoin does not have that. It's the weakest part of the Bitcoin story would be the fungibility factor. And to the extent that Monero solves that fungibility factor, is needed. Okay, that's why I say it's going to be one of the coins in the top 2 or 3 coins going forward. You know, I've been saying that about Monero since Monero came out. And so it is important. It is key. How will Bitcoin tackle that? That is yet to be revealed. I don't think it's something that we can't tackle. If ultimately it can't tackle it, then of the privacy coins out there, there are a few, right? Perhaps Monero becomes the champion in that space, and we have a duopoly. We have Bitcoin Monero. That's not out of the question. Okay, that could be the case.
One last question: what you label Monero a privacy coin, which makes sense because we got to categorize these things. But do you think that's kind of a false nomer? I mean, it's kind of like calling cash privacy cash. We're trying to create digital cash. Why do we call some coins privacy coins? Shouldn't it just be called kind of digital cash? Isn't Bitcoin itself trying to be digital cash? I don't see why we're labeling some coins as privacy coins if that's fundamental to what digital cash needs to be.
Well, there's a number of categories you got for these coins. You have stable coins. You have proof of, they say store of value coins. And clearly, you know, you'd have Bitcoin and Litecoin would be in that category, proof of work, value. Then, you know, we have the category called privacy coins. And then that's answer number one. And then the second thing, when you say, well, it's trying to be digital cash, or it is digital cash, there are a number of coins that say we are cash, we are digital cash. I'm thinking about Dash, for example, says we are cash, we are digital cash. Of course, they have a totally different consensus mechanism. And, that everyone wants to move toward this cash concept, and so does Bitcoin Cash, who came up with this idea that Bitcoin was somehow not suitable as cash and that you needed to fork the coin to cash. That created a huge problem in this space because we were forced to revisit the white paper. According to Roger Ver, you'll say the white paper refers to cash, but it only makes sense if you substitute the word cash with gold. Then the white paper makes perfect sense. This is digital gold. All of Satoshi's work, all of the cypherpunk work before the launch of the Genesis block referred to digital gold. Okay, Bitcoin is digital gold. That's the standard upon which we must compare and judge. So is Monero digital gold? Well, no, not compared to Bitcoin. Okay, that's where we are with Bitcoin. Will it be a privacy, fungibility behemoth? Maybe. But as you get toward 100,000, there's going to be like I've been doing this, since 2011. I've seen so many freaking coins come and go. I think that a few will get to the Holy Land. Monero is well positioned to do that, But I don't think anything ultimately, in my view, is going to usurp Bitcoin, and there's nothing it won't eventually be able to do. That's my position. I'm happy to debate the point. I'm not, think anything less of anybody. Let's see what the market decides, okay? I go by the market. That's my view. That's how we invest at Heisenberg Capital. We put money to work on that basis. We could be wrong.
But you obviously look at the fundamentals as well. I mean, like you said, you're considering the fact that Monero is fungible, and that's something that it has that these other ones don't. But so it's
but as we deploy capital, like we would let some other fund deploy capital with that kind of as their operating mantra going forward, right? That's what they would look for. That's not what we're focused on, because we want to be very tight and kind of have a straightforward investing thesis, if you will, and that's what we do.
What are you guys looking for?
We're looking for Bitcoin. Right now, we're focused on second layer. So we're focused on Lightning Labs. That's why I want to hear Elizabeth Stark, who we have a good relationship with. Crypto Springs is another conference coming in the fall. It's very Lightning oriented. We're looking at Lightning stuff. We're investing in Lightning stuff. And so that's where we're focused right now.
All right. Well, we'd love to have you on the Monero team. I know you're an early supporter, but the more support,
look, I support
the better.
The team is a great team, okay? And you're all going to be welcome over at the Bitcoin team and the Lightning team when you get tired of Monero. You got a place for you over in Bitcoin.
Thank you, Max. Like I said, I've been listening to you for years. I love your show. You always have great insights into everything. And yeah, we'd appreciate a retweet actually, so we can get up to those 1,000 subscribers and we can start streaming from our phone. Sunita's getting a little tired over here carrying that.
But I'm not John McAfee, so I'm not going to charge you $100,000 for a retweet because I don't want to end up in a boat in the middle of the ocean somewhere being chased by regulators and tax authorities. Okay? He's got Bitcoin derangement syndrome. People who look too closely at the Bitcoin protocol go insane. John McAfee's gone insane. Roger Ver went crazy. Craig Wright, certifiably insane.
What is that? What is that all about? Why is this breeding insanity?
Because it's so pure and so honest that if you don't have that in your heart to begin with, and when you look at the protocol, it can drive you insane. For some people, it ennobles them. Like Andreas Antonopoulos, he was already pure of heart, and it made him a giant. For someone like McAfee, he had a corrupt, dirty, ugly heart, and it made him insane. Did you see that movie on HBO? I think it was Netflix. It was called Bird Box. If you look outside and you saw the evil, you instantly killed yourself. It drove you nuts. This is Bitcoin derangement syndrome.
But do you think there's some hypocrisy there with Bitcoin and the maximalists who claim to be cypherpunks and believing in the crypto anarchist ideals, yet they kind of gloss over things like fungibility, like adding confidential transactions to the core protocol level? They think, well, maybe we don't need that. Maybe it's better that things are transparent.
Well, what we do at Heisenberg is we watch the market and see which way the market goes. I think that everything in the protocol would move forward toward a very high concentration of Bitcoin in the space. Dominance goes up. And those discussions are good to have. And technologists and developers and programmers are working on that stuff all the time. And we look at that stuff all the time. And we're seeing which way the market breaks. Be the champion in this space. And we saw capital move in that direction. Now you've got some more movement in the alt space. The market knows all. The market is going to determine the outcome. And the protocol is still being discovered. There are things about the protocol. Remember, the protocol is it's a hybrid of economics, psychology, game theory, technology. All these things is in a hybrid. It's unlike anything we've ever seen in economics before. As an asset class, it doesn't really fall into a currency neatly or a security or a commodity. All these things it's a paradigm shifting or paradigm breaking asset that we don't really know. As far as economics go, not a single economist in the world has anything to say about Bitcoin that makes sense, except for Saifedean Ammous with his book, The Bitcoin Standard. He comes the closest. And as far as the game theory goes, and psychology and sociology and even evolution, those things are being revealed to us on a daily basis. So the story is still being written. I don't claim to have the answers. All I know is that I watch the market and how it responds to this emerging asset class, this protocol that seems to be like a sizable quantum leap in our experience here on Earth as human beings. I realize that sounds a bit grandiose, but we live in times right now that we demands a radical answers to some of these intractable problems. We have some serious issues on planet Earth. I was just on a flight yesterday. I don't know if you saw about it in the news, but a woman sitting behind me jumped out. She was 20 years old, leaped to the forward of the plane, screamed, "I want to die," and tried to open the door to jump out of the plane at 10,000 feet. Okay. There's mental illness is real. And this is a problem shared by millions of people, and more so every day, because we don't have hard money. We don't have any accountability. Fiat money is simply a tool by the kleptocracy to paper over every single mistake, every crime they commit. They just print money to paper over it. The wealth and income gap is skyrocketing. I believe that the climate is also collapsing in real time. I've said this before. A lot of people disagree with me on that, but I think that's a result of fiat money. It's too easy for any company that contributes toward eco-holocaust. They're not penalized in any way. They're not penalized by the market. They're not penalized in any way. They simply print. So Bitcoin is a way to extricate ourselves. If America doesn't take the path forward, some other country will. So America is an existential crisis. Like Representative Brad Sherman said this week in Congress, if any country wants to destroy America, they would be buying Bitcoin. That's basically what he said in Congress. So China, Russia, Iran, Germany, they're like, "Oh, is that how you do it? Okay, let's do it." He opened the door.
I mean, the thing that scares me about Bitcoin is it's being explained by people like you, who are obviously very intelligent and respected, and it's being sold as this thing that's going to kind of take us into the decentralized future, where we won't be monitored anymore. It'll be difficult for governments and large corporations to know all our data. But at the same time, we're all opting into a completely transparent ledger that can be viewed by anyone, anywhere. Is there kind of a potential dystopia there? Are we fooling ourselves as we all opt into this transparent behemoth? That's kind of what concerns me there.
It's a legitimate concern, and the track record so far is bad. So it might be a bit naive to think that suddenly this technology is going to take us out of this dystopian track. But as far as hard money goes, and if you look at the history of economics, sociology, and evolution, and hard money, it's what hard money periods have been periods of relative peace and relative balanced sanity in the world. We haven't had hard money in 40 years, 50 years, anywhere since 1971. As far as the transparency of the ledger goes, and does that open the door toward more surveillance, et cetera, that's a risk, obviously. It's a race to see if the benefits in that, for example, if politically you had a rise up of a political class that was favorable to Bitcoin, they would be more favorable toward a less dystopian future if they listen to what Bitcoin is saying. Okay, let me say this. I'm glad Monero's out there. Okay, and all the points you raise are good points. And I said it's going to be in the top few as we head toward 100,000. And these are excellent points. I'm not going to say they're not good points. They're good points. And we're going to keep, I watch Monero closely. Our fund is focused on Bitcoin. Okay, that's what we do. But you're making excellent points. I'm not going to say you're not making excellent points. And so we're at a place where the market will decide. Let's see where the market goes with this. If in fact humans might not make it, there'll be solar panels hashing and generating Bitcoin, but humans won't be around anymore. It'll be robots versus chimpanzees. Do you see the chimpanzee on the Instagram account?
No, I did not.
All right, there's a chimpanzee that's on their Instagram account. Okay, now as soon as they can hire lawyers, it's going to be chimps versus us, but then we'll be disintermediated by robots. So we'll be gone. It'll be chimps versus robots. Okay, and the robots will choose Bitcoin. The chimps will be trying to take down the solar panels because they want more bananas, but we'll be gone. We won't see this.
You heard it here first, folks.
Chimps versus robots.
Versus robots.
All right.
Thank you, Max.
All right,
You're awesome.
Great to talk to you.
Thank you, sir. All right, that was amazing, Max Keiser. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I pushed back with my usual questioning on how you can be so pro Monero when the protocol doesn't seem to match the ideals of what this stuff's supposed to be. So like we said, we're at the Magical Crypto Conference. I guess we'll try to continue to stream live. We might come in and out as we try to get new guests on the show. We're going to try to round up some more guests. Oh, wait, we found a table. We're going to grab that table. We're kind of making this up as we go on the fly. How's it going, sir? Would you like to be on the Monero talk show? Are you interested in Monero?
Technically, I do web miners.
What's that?
I do web mining.
Come into our little studio over here. What do you do?
I develop WordPress plugins for web miners ever since. Well, I did it alongside CoinHive. Was one of the original ones we used to do. That kind of did like ethical, where it shows you're mining the controls. But since CoinHive went away,
why did so CoinHive? If you mind explaining to everybody who's watching, that was basically the miner for the browser.
They came out in 2017, and they kind of put it on Pirate Bay and didn't tell anyone. So a lot of people got upset. They're always being blocked. But then really cool ideas like the simple miner where you could like track hashes, and we were tying that into word sites, but it got harder and harder to use CoinHive because they really weren't helping the silent mining kind of issue where people are just like, and we put a client. If you go to vidyen.com or if you search Vidyen on WordPress.org, your repository, if you run a WordPress site, you can just download it and do it to any site that uses PHP basically. So what we do is like, instead of like mining, there's actually another site called Monero Share. Either you can mine to your own wallet. It's moneroshare.io. And I do another one called vidhash.com, which is basically like a YouTube miner. So I do a lot of weird stuff. So
okay, and yeah, so most uses for this CoinHive type technology is for Monero, but most people are using it to mine Monero.
Just probably a reason that CoinHive stopped was the big, the ASICs got on the network recently and they had to do the fork again. So a couple of the Monero, like Monero Ocean dev, he made an algo switching miner, which basically takes all the forks of Monero, like the Pico, C and half, I think like Masari and stuff. So what it does now, instead of just mining Monero, it's in the list of the 7 Monero forks, and whatever one's the most profitable, it switches for. Kind of like old NiceHash back in the day. So it's all Monero based. If Monero moons, then it'll switch to that. But based on which one of the Monero alt, I think Masari is up there right now, and they're doing a few others at similar forks to that.
So do you have an opinion there on the fact that Monero has, as a community, one of its tenets is to be ASIC resistant, or really its tenet is to be decentralized, have decentralized mining, and currently ASIC resistance is kind of the path towards that. Do you have an opinion there? Is that something you believe in as well?
I mean, that's the only reason we did web mining, because when you're doing JavaScript mining through WASM, it's not high. It's, ASICs are doing gigahashes where, a computer running through your browser is probably, unless you've got an i7, you can probably make 100 hashes per second. A phone would do like a hash. So there's no way you're going to compete with ASICs. So it was the only way to like kind of be fair. And when the ASICs did get on the network, it kind of, the web mining, a lot of these web mining places actually shut down. And I think that's one of the reasons CoinHive did shut down, or they never said why. They just said, this is one of the reasons, and they just disappeared. But I think with algo switching, even if the ASICs got back, there's more of a chance to work with the other Monero forks like Masari and a few other coins that's not always privacy based, but they're based off Monero. So there's a chance to kind of it's easier to kind of make money with web mining than you would say fighting the ASICs if they let the ASICs on the network.
Just see if we could grab her next. So do you think would you like to come on the show? You want to?
Oh, thank you.
Shall we wrap up?
Yeah, we can wrap up. Yeah, I'm I'm Felty256 on Twitter, and you can find my website vidyen.com if you're interested in these web mining plugins for WordPress.
All right, thanks. Thanks for the work you do. Hey, what's going on? Nice to meet you in person.
Oh, we're doing a live stream.
Yeah, we're doing a live stream.
Hello, Internet. I'm the crazy mining girl from Core Scientific. we going over here? Going over here?
We're good.
There we go.
So you came into New York. So are you here as a Bitcoin person, as a Monero person, as just a crypto enthusiast?
I'm here as a crypto enthusiast, I would say. Mining geek. Actually, very excited to see all the speaking panels today. Really excited about that. And then it's going to be interesting being on a panel with Gordon and the Fidelity Investments guy.
What are you guys going to be talking about?
The future of mining. So what happens when you put an ASIC manufacturer, an ASIC miner, and a GPU miner in a room? It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Have there been any kind of new developments since we last spoke in terms of in terms of kind of where Monero is going in its fight against ASICs with RandomX?
Yeah, RandomX is going through its audit now. So I just gave HYC a contact to AMD, and we're just trying to help them out, getting them some funding around the audit. But RandomX is now in its final iteration and ready for audits, and I think they're going to go ahead with it, and I'm really excited.
You think it's promising?
Yes, very, very promising. I don't know if it will accomplish its stated goals of being locked to a CPU, but I do think it's very promising for Monero. So I'm excited.
I'm sorry. You don't think it will reach its goal?
That it will achieve its goal of being locked to CPUs only.
How long do you think that's gonna? You think that's gonna be years, or do you think there'll be some time there before ASICs catch up to RandomX?
Not ASICs. They're already doing GPU implementations now. I think we're going to see FPGAs for RandomX before we see ASICs.
Wow. Okay. But hey, this is the best we can do, right?
Exactly. Otherwise, if there's a tweakable element, which there is to RandomX, then I think that will conveniently keep ASICs at bay, and it will just be FPGA based going forward.
And do you think that's a good approach to take continue to tweak?
Yeah, I think there's no harm in it. Because the hardware they're targeting is naturally programmable, CPUs, GPUs, FPGAs. There's absolutely no harm in that. So it'll be good.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show this morning. Are we going to see you at the Monero party? Do you think you'll be attending?
I think so. I think you guys locked it to Monero only for invites, which was very interesting.
We try to filter out all the non-believers.
Yeah, exactly. I think you will see me there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cheers.
Excited to see you.
Cheers.
All right. Thanks.
Bye. Cheers.
All right. We're striking some good interviews here. We'll stay live if anyone has some questions. I don't even know how many. We have 13 live viewers. If anybody wants to send us some questions, there's going to be some downtime as we try to find more people to talk to. Hold on 1 second. All right, I think we're going to take a pause and come back. Should we take a pause or should we stay on? We're going to stay on. We're going to keep it live. All right, let's check out the bull. We got the bull over here. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with the bull. We can go find out. Let's find out what's going to happen. Hey, man, what's going on? We're streaming. We're trying to find what's the deal with the bull.
You got to ask him.
You're on Monero Talk.
Monero Talk. I am the Bitcoin sign guy, and this is the Bitcoin bull in the flesh. Here, we'll tilt the screen to get the bull. So yeah, you may be bullish on Monero. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. Ergo, we get a bull, and we'll ride it to the moon.
The Bitcoin sign. So you were the guy in that was standing in the background of, I forget what hearing that was, and
Yes.
yeah, what motivated you to do that? Was that planned? Was that a kind of spur of the moment thing?
That was spur of the moment. I was covering that event for my boss, who's a monetary policy analyst, and I happened to get on the camera. So not premeditated. They were just talking about the transparency of the Federal Reserve, so I thought had to do it.
How long you been in Bitcoin approximately, in crypto? Is this was that kind of, are you a long timer?
Just Bitcoin. I first found out about Bitcoin in 2012, but I must admit I was really ignorant to its revolutionary potential until 2016 when I went down the proverbial rabbit hole.
All right. And so what's your opinion of Monero? I mean, I'm kind of a broken record here with what the spiel I give when I talk to the Bitcoin maximalists, in that, obviously Bitcoin lacks fungibility at a protocol level. How do you kind of justify that and work with that?
So I, like a lot of people, I used to call myself a Bitcoin maximalist. Now maybe the term is shitcoin minimalist. So I'm for any version of coin that's truly honest. I have no quarrel with altcoins. I only invest in Bitcoin, but I do think that the fungibility use case is compelling enough to warrant as many experiments as are needed for it to work. I hope that Schnorr signatures can take Bitcoin there, but I'm very glad that Monero exists for the benefit of the Crypto Anarchy project.
All right, man. Nice meeting you. Maybe your second stunt will spur on the next bull market.
I hope
I think your first one contributed a bit, right? When was that? Remind me the.
It was I think July 2017. So yeah, right there at the start of the parabolic move. I won't take credit, but it did go up 4% that day. I'll take the 4%.
So I don't know what your move's going to be the next. I mean, I don't know how you're going to top this one.
We'll keep them guessing.
All right, Matt. Thank you. We look forward to the next bull market. It seems like the sign is here. You have spoken.
Bring it on.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to continue to find some more interesting people to talk to around here. How's it going, guys? Is this Fluffy? I believe Fluffy was unable to make it to the conference.